Welcome everybody to Deep Stretch with Dina. Let's get started in tabletop. So we'll come to hands and knees. Hands lining up underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll spread our fingers wide. Ground down through the palms of the hands. Notice where your palms are making contact with the mat. And then just allow those fingers to gently rest on the mat. And we'll start right here with a neutral spine, gaze to the floor. And just beginning with our breath, finding a steady inhale and exhale. For this first few moments of our breath, just focusing on even breath, calm breath, and just an equal amount of effort in our inhale and exhale. And then we're just going to start to find a little bit of movement as we continue to breathe. Maybe moving, rolling through those hips and shoulders. You can make these movements as large or as small as you would like. And then let's just change, move in the opposite direction. And coming back through center, but continuing with that breath. We're going to find a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you're ready, we'll drop the belly, lift the chin, take the gaze a little forward as you inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to round the spine, pull the hips under, pull the chin toward the chest. Inhaling, drop the belly, take the gaze forward. Exhaling, belly button to the spine. And just using your breath, continue at your pace. Taking the full length of your inhale and exhale and matching that with your movement. So as you inhale, don't reach the absolute begin or end of that pose until you reach the end of your breath. And take it through one more full round, inhale and exhale. And then we'll bring it back through a neutral spine. And let's move to a spinal balance. We'll start with one leg. I'll take my right leg back. My left arm lifted by the ear. And I can keep that toe on the ground, or I can engage and lift that foot, pressing the heel to the back of the room or somewhere behind you, reaching those left fingers forward. Coming back to that breath. And to find another inhale, and with your exhale, we're going to pull your elbow toward your knee, round that spine just like you would for that cat pose, and then inhale, reach long. Fingertips through the center of the heel. Exhale, pull it into center. Inhale and reach. Exhale to center. Continuing. And finding one more inhale, and your option is you can hold here, Or you can take a bend in that right knee, reach back for the top of the foot or the ankle, find that bind, and then bring everything back into center. Realign right shoulder over right wrist. Take that gaze toward the floor and press into that right foot. We're pressing against that or into that hand, maybe lifting that knee a little bit taller. Breathing here. And with your exhale, release. And let's come back to table, realign ourselves, and then we'll switch sides. Left foot toward the back of the mat, right arm by the right ear. You can either keep it here or find that lift. So pressing the center of that left heel behind you toward the wall, whatever you have back there, and reaching those fingers toward the wall in front. Inhaling. And then we'll bring it through center with that exhale. Elbow to knee. Tuck that chin. Round that spine. Inhale. And exhale. Reaching. Pull it through center. Inhale. One more time, pull it in. And then inhale, we're going to reach long. You're either going to hold this one or take the bend in the left knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle, and then pull it back through center. Keep that gaze low and steady. Keep that belly button tucked in. If you can lift that left knee a little bit higher. Find one more inhale. Exhale, release. Just kind of circle it out, shake it out just a little bit. And then we're going to find our puppy pose. So I'm going to come back to the back end of my mat. And I'm going to start to walk the hands away from my knees. So I've got several options here. If you've got a block or a pillow or something, you can take it and place it under your chest to give yourself something just a little bit taller to rest on. And you've also got the option of not using that and just take it a little bit lower. So what we want is we want to keep our knees in line with our hips, so hips right above those knees. Reach long through the fingers. And then taking that gaze forward so that possibly your chest makes contact with the floor or whatever prop you've placed there. Maybe even bring that chin toward the floor. Continuing to breathe. Pressing back into the hips. Opening, expanding through the front of the chest. Find one more full inhale and exhale. And then slowly start to walk it back. Again, find whatever movements your body needs to kind of move out of that. And let's find a few wrist stretches. So we'll start by just, instead of palms to the floor, we're going to flip one hand over so that the top of the hand is in the floor. And I'll turn to face you so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to press the top of the hand into the floor, and then I'm going to start to straighten through that arm. So pressing equally down through the top of one hand, the palm of the other. I can stay here, or I can again start to bring a little bit of movement. And then coming back through center, we'll switch, flip the other palm. And then once you have the top of that hand grounded, start to straighten through that arm. We're not really putting a whole lot of pressure onto that side. We're going to reserve that for the side that the palm is still down. But just finding that little extra stretch. And then get a little movement with it if you like. And then we'll bring both palms back to the floor, but then let's turn. So we're going to turn the fingertips so that they point to either side of us. And so the wrists are going to be facing each other in the center. And then notice how that feels. You can keep it there, but if you'd like a little more, then you can turn fingertips toward your body so that the wrists face toward the space in front of you. And again, you can either stay still, stay where you are, or add a little movement to it. And then we'll bring it all back through neutral. Fingertips pointing in front of us, palms to the floor. Let's line it back up, tabletop, and then we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take one arm, I'm going to take my right arm, reach for the ceiling, find a big inhale. And then as you exhale, we're just going to take that hand, move it through the space between the left knee, the left wrist, and then drop it to the floor. So you can drop shoulder to the floor, ear to the floor. You can drop to a block or a pillow. If you have a bolster at home, that should feel nice. So many options, just depending on how much rotation you would like, how deep you would like to take it. And then your option for that left arm, that one that's still there in the original spot, it can stay there. You can reach toward the space in front of you. If you'd like to add a little extra rotation, you can start to reach for the ceiling, or even wrap that arm around the body and find a bind. Many options, many places that you can find your final pose. And then when you're ready, we'll start to slide that left hand down so that it's under the shoulder. Press into that hand and come back through center, and we'll switch sides. Left hand, take a big reach for the ceiling, and then thread it through that space. So come all the way through. Again, your option, you can drop your shoulder, ear to the floor. That right hand can stay where it is. You can reach. You can take it up. You can find that bind. Whatever feels the best today. And then to come out, we're going to take the right hand, place it under the shoulder, press into that hand, come back through center, and again, move it out just a little bit. We're going to find our first down dog. So we'll tuck the toes, we'll lift the hips, and press it back. Now find a little movement with this first one, possibly walk it out a little. When you're ready to settle into that pose, first of all, think about spreading all 10 fingers nice and wide. Find the contact, the base of the thumb, the base of the first finger into the floor, ground down there, and then let those fingers gently relax to the floor. Think about pressing the center of your heels toward the floor. At the same time, the hips lift toward the ceiling. The sits bones press to the wall behind you. Your gaze can be at your toes, at your shins, your knees. And just allow the head to relax between the arms. We're going to find a little flow here. So on your inhale, just come high to your tiptoes. Exhale, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to draw the chest toward the thighs. On your inhale, we're just going to find a little rolling motion. We're going to roll our body and come out into a high plank. And then exhale, press back into that down dog. Again, inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, press back. Inhale, roll through the spine, come forward into that high plank. Press back into that exhale. Inhale, bend the knees. Inhale, roll through the spine. Exhale, press it back. Find 2 more using your breath. And as you finish up, settle back into that down dog. And then take a look at the hands. We're just going to take a walk to the top of our mat. Release with that exhale. And we'll find a ragdoll. So go ahead and separate your feet, hips distance, maybe even a little bit further. Options, you can grab opposite elbows. Another option is to simply let the hands rest on the floor. But as you inhale, we'll extend, find space in that spine. And then exhale, we just release. Now for this first forward fold, I definitely like to keep my knees soft. I like to allow the chest to make contact with the tops of the thighs. Let your head be heavy. Let it hang. Let it release. And then we'll release those hands. We're going to bring the feet back to touch in the center. We'll inhale and half lift. Fold as you exhale. Halfway, or come all the way to the top for Tadasana. And exhale, we'll fold. Inhale. Fold forward. Come all the way to stand, Tadasana. And then fold forward. One more round. Half lift as you inhale. Fold. Tadasana. Come all the way to stand. Fold it forward. Half lift. And this time as you exhale, just plant the hands, step back. We'll find that down dog. Go ahead and take a moment, reset it all. And then this time as you inhale, we're just going to take that right foot, lift it into 3 points. So we'll keep that foot flexed. If you can look back, you can see your foot. Press that heel to the back wall. All 5 toes of that right foot point to the floor. Find a big inhale. Exhale. We're going to bend that knee. We're going to plant it between the hands. And we're going to find our low lunge. We're going to drop to our back knee. We're going to let the top of that back foot come to the floor. Now I have blocks here at home, but if you don't, you can grab some books or some boxes or whatever you would like. Then I'm going to place my blocks underneath my shoulders, and then as I inhale, I'm just going to open my chest to the front of the room. And as I settle into it, I'm just going to notice that my knee, my right toes are both pointing to the front of the mat. I'm releasing, pressing those hips down, but at the same time pressing forward. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, opening the front of the chest to the front of the room. Now if you have your blocks, you're going to grab a hold and you're going to bring them with you as we come into half split. So we're going to shift our weight to that back knee, to our right knee. Again, we're going to let those blocks come underneath our shoulders. So weight into that left leg. That right leg is going to extend, heel to the floor, toes toward the ceiling. Now, options here is you can keep this lifted. Keep it all nice and tall. And again, open that chest to the front of the mat. Or if you'd like to add a little bit more to this one, you can keep that long spine, but start to hinge from the hips and fold it forward. Drawing the chest toward the thigh, chin toward the knee, forehead to the shin. Many different ways that you can think about it. But try to keep that length in the spine. Keep reaching the top of the head to the front of the room. And then we're just going to find a little movement with our breath. So on your next inhale, we're just going to bend the front knee, bend that right knee, walk it forward, open the chest. Exhale, shift it back, half split. Inhale, low lunge, open up. Exhale, half split. Keep it lifted or folded, whatever feels best to you. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, walk it back. And one more time, inhale to that low lunge, and we're going to hold that low lunge. And you can either keep it right here, or you can add a little twist to it. So my right hand is going to stay down, left hand is going to stay down, or it's going to come to a block. Right hand, we can open it to your hip, or you can start to reach that right hand toward the ceiling. Now just like any twist, any rotation, there are many options. You can keep it here. You can start to wrap it around, find a little partial bind. Whatever feels the best today. So we'll think about opening that chest to the side of the room. So for me, it's to my right side. And then keeping that length in the spine. So from the tailbone, coming all the way up, back of the neck, crown of the head, keeping it long. And then we're going to bring it back through center and find a lower lizard lunge. So I'm going to bring both hands to the inside of my front foot, my right foot. And I'm going to walk that foot to the edge of my mat to make a little bit more space. And I'll turn to the front so that you can see what I'm doing. So I can either leave this one lifted, leaving my hands on the floor, or another option is to grab those blocks so that I can lift it just a little bit taller, or I can lower down here so I can take my forearms to the blocks. I can also take my forearms to the floor. Many options, but once you finally figure out which one works best for you and you settle in, I want you to take your hands and ground down either into the floor, the blocks, whatever it is that you're using, and then engage in that floor and then pull forward and try to start to open that chest one more time toward the front of the room. So lift and open. Now I'm going to straighten back up on my mat. So your option is you can stay here, or again, if you want to add a little rotation, a little bind, you can bend that left knee, the one that's behind. Take the right hand, reach it out and up, and come back for the top of that foot. So if you find that bind, you want to start to open up. So you'll start to stack your right shoulder on top of left. Again, you're going to start to open that chest to the right side of the room. And options, you can keep your gaze low, to the side, or find just a little bit more rotation by opening up and taking that gaze to the ceiling. Once you're ready, if you have that bind, we'll release first. Bring it all back through to the center. If you're down low, we're going to walk it to the hands. We'll bring that foot into the center. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and then let's step back into our down dog. Take a moment, move it out. Loosen it up, reset everything. And then we're going to find our 3-point on our left side. So left leg lifts. Again, take a look at that foot. We're going to press the center of the heel to the wall behind us. All the toes on that foot point for the floor. Take a big inhale. Look to those hands and then bend that knee. Plant it forward. Now I don't always get the right spot every single time, so sometimes I've got to adjust and move my leg a little bit. That's okay. That's not a big deal. So when you're ready, drop that right knee, drop the top of the foot. And again, this is where I like to bring my blocks in. Place them under the shoulders. So we have a line from shoulders, elbows, hands. And then when you're ready, we'll start to drop those hips a little lower, open up, and open that chest toward the front of the room. And then from here, we're going to shift to half splits. So I'm going to bring my blocks with me. My weight is going to shift into the right leg, hips over the knees. I'll slide those blocks back. So this time, left leg straightens, heel to the floor, toes to the ceiling. Reset those blocks underneath the shoulders. And once more, you can keep this one lifted. Or with your exhale, hinge and fold. And so we'll find that movement once more, moving with our breath. So on your inhale, just walk the hands forward, find that bend in the left knee, open that chest to the front, big inhale. Exhale, shift it back, straighten that left leg. You can either keep it lifted or add that fold. Inhale, forward and open. Exhale, take it back. Maybe hinge and fold. Inhale. Exhale. And then one final time, we're going to come forward. Bring those blocks with you if you like to use them. And we're going to add that rotation. So this time, right hand to the floor or to the block. Left hand, you can take it to your knee and just kind of press into your knee to open. You can take your left hand to your hip, or you can reach your hand to the ceiling. Remember, if you found that bind on the first side, maybe find it again on this side. One more inhale. And then bring it through center for your exhale. And we're going to take it even lower for our lizard lunge. So here's where we bring both hands to the inside of the foot. Walk that foot over to the edge of the mat. And either keep it here, hands to the floor or hands to a block. Or forearms to the floor or forearms to a block. Whichever one feels the best for you. So once you've figured out which one is for you right now, ground down through the palms, the forearms, and then pull that chest through and open to the front of the room. Now your options, stay here, or if you want to add that bind, you'll take a bend in that right knee. Reach back with the left hand for the top of the foot, for the ankle. And then start to open. Find that stack of left shoulder on top of right. Gaze can be down. Gaze can be over to the left side of the room or up and over that shoulder. And then if you have that bind, you'll release. Bring it back through center and start to walk it in. Bring that foot through the center. We'll tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee, and then come back and find down dog. One final time. in that down dog. And on your next inhale, we're going to shift forward into our high plank. Take a deep breath here. And then as slow as you possibly can, we're going to lower to the floor. So we're going to lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Alrighty, so we're going to start with just some little gentle flows. So placing your hands underneath your shoulders, we're just going to find a few cobra flows. And so with your next inhale, we're just going to gently press into the floor, gently lift the front of the chest, the shoulders. Exhale and lower. Again, inhale, gentle lift, and lower. With each inhale, you have the option, if you like it, to maybe take that lift a little taller. Again, that is an option. You can leave it right where you began with that low, gentle baby cobra. And we're going to find one more before sliding those hands forward, forearms to the floor, elbows underneath the shoulders, palms to the floor, and we're going to find Sphinx pose. So we're going to ground down through the hands, the forearms, just like we were doing earlier in those low lunges, and then open that chest to the room in front of you. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears, open through the front of the chest, expand the back of the chest. Start to draw those shoulder blades toward the spine. Now from here, we're going to shift and we're going to find a forearm plank. Now no worries, we're not going to be here too long. We're going to tuck the toes, engage, and when you're ready, we're just going to lift from the floor. Now we're only here for a moment because we're just going to walk the feet in a little bit closer to find dolphin pose. So once you've got the toes in as close as you comfortably can, then start to press back away from the elbows, away from the palms, pressing heels toward the floor. And then we're going to walk the feet back again. First into that forearm plank, and then releasing into your Sphinx. Now we're going to do that one more time. So take a big breath. Exhale here. On your inhale, we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to lift to forearm plank. And then we'll start to walk toes in a little closer. Find your dolphin pose and breathe. And then we'll start to walk the toes back through our forearm plank. And then drop the belly, drop the hips, tops of the feet, Sphinx pose. And then let's come up, hands and knees, tabletop. Tuck those toes. Oh, I think I told you it was our last down dog. That wasn't true, was it? Take a look at those hands, and we're just going to walk the feet toward the top of the mat. And then fold forward. On your inhale, we'll half lift. Fold. And then we're just going to slowly roll it all the way to the top. Let's find just a moment or two right here standing before we come into our finishing sequences. So we're just going to get a little standing flow. So on your inhale, we're just going to reach those arms up and overhead. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale. And exhale. This time we'll inhale. And we're going to let that left arm stay. And we're going to let that right arm come back by our side. Inhale, reach those left fingers tall. And then with your exhale, reach up and over. Find a side body stretch. Ground down through your left heel. Find that space through the side of the body. Inhale back through center. And we'll switch. Left hand drops. Inhale, reach those right fingers tall. Exhale, reach it up and over. Breathe here. Inhale through center. And then exhale. Okay, so we're going to finish up at the wall. So you want to take some time, maybe move your mat a little closer to the wall. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be centered up here, but I've got a doorknob there, but we'll do our best. So we're going to start by getting as close to the wall as we can. So you're going to start with your hip up against the wall. So scoot in so it's touching the wall. And then you're going to lie down on your side. Now as you do this, you want to scoot in a little bit closer again so that your both sits bones are making contact with the floor. And then once you have that, you're going to simply roll to your back. And you should be all the way up against the wall, both hips making contact with the wall. And just allow those legs to extend up the wall. So for this first little bit right here at the wall, let's just go ahead and find a bent knee. So feet come down, plant them into the floor. And we'll just pull the knees into the chest. Maybe a little bit of movement here. And then we'll release and extend those legs up the wall again. So we're going to find a reclined figure 4. So I'm going to take my right ankle and cross it over my left knee. Be sure to flex that foot. And you have the option, if you want to be a little more open, then you're going to take your hand and just gently push that knee away or toward the wall. Now you can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, then you're going to start to slide that left foot down the wall. So as you do, keep contact with those sits bones into the wall, and even keep pressing that right knee away from the body. Continue to open it up. And you'll find your point where you know that you need to stop, where you feel that sensation the most. and it still feels nice. That's the stopping point. When it gets to the point where you don't really feel good anymore, then we've probably gone just a little bit too far. And so we're going to find a little rotation here. So we're going to start by just taking that leg back up the wall, but keep the right leg crossed over for the moment. We'll take the arms. You can either extend them out like a T, or you can take a bend in the elbows and cactus the arms. And leaving our legs just the way that they are, we're going to allow them to start to fall over to the side. Now, you may decide that this is good and you want to keep it here. So we're going to keep that ankle crossed over the knee, and you can continue to push and open up that knee if it feels nice. But you also might decide that this just doesn't quite feel right. So options would be to stack both legs straight. Another option would be to continue to stack the legs, but take a bend in the knees. So choosing, whatever variation is the best for you. If you can, you want to try to keep both shoulders making contact with the floor, if that's possible. If not, it's not the end of the world. You can keep that gaze forward or looking straight up in front of you, or you can continue to rotate and turn and look to the shoulder behind you or to the fingers behind you. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to unwind everything. We'll bring it back through center. And so extending both legs up the wall. And we'll go back to that figure 4 on side 2. So this time I'm going to take my left ankle to my right knee. Foot flexed, knee. I have the option of opening it a little more by pushing it away from the body. Remember, that's an option. You don't have to do that. So I can stay here with that leg extended, or I can start to slowly bring that foot down the wall. And so as I do, I'm going to start to feel it a little bit more in the hips. And, it's very common for you to feel different sensations on each side of the body. You might need to go a little bit further to feel it on one side than the other. That's totally normal. Now I'm going to continue to keep my foot flexed, because by doing that, it engages these muscles on either side of my knee. And when I keep those muscles engaged, it keeps my knee from doing any kind of strange and not very good twisting motions. So flex the foot, engages these muscles, and protects the knee. It keeps it bending in the way that it should be bending. Then we're going to take that right leg, straighten it back up the wall. And I'm going to keep everything right here for now. I'm going to see how this feels on side 2. But I'm going to go ahead and take my arms out to a T. And then I'm going to start to allow both legs to fall to one side. And then I'm gonna check it out, see how it feels. I still have my sits bones making contact with the wall. So I can keep that knee right where it is. I have the option of opening a little more if that's what feels nice. Remember the other options. Stack the legs with the legs straight. Stack the legs with a bent knee. Or any other variation if you find something else that feels just as nice. Gaze continues to be center, or add just a little bit more by turning and looking over the shoulder behind you. I'm going to start to bring everything back in to center. I'll pull my knees into the chest one more time with the option to find a little movement if it's nice. And then I'm going to open into happy baby. So I'm going to let my knees open wide. And I'm going to reach down. Option, you can reach behind the knees. You can reach for the shins or the outer edges of the feet. And then just start to pull those knees either to the sides of your body or toward your underarms or toward the floor. You can stay still, add a little movement. And then we'll release, we'll bring this back into center, and we're going to extend the legs up the wall. And since we're already here, I'm going to encourage you to stay here at the wall to find your final relaxation. So just let your legs kind of open up a little bit. Don't worry so much about flex feet or whatever. Just let them be however it feels nice. You can take a blanket, place it anywhere that you would like. Allow those arms to open. Find what feels nice. Close your eyes and just return to a nice, easy breath.